And now everyone was going to be firing people. Salva Kiir is firing.
You just wake up in the wrong mood.
And then ministers are also firing. It's going to be a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Welcome to Jimosi podcast. So this week, the Minister of Trade, called Atong Kuol Manyang, suspended the undersecretary, called Achier John Manyuat, without pay. And some of the reason why she did that is because of insubordination, indiscipline, and intimidation.
Okay, so let's start with the definition of insubordination.
Okay.
So this is defiance of authority, refusal to obey orders. So it means this guy was kichwangumu. Yeah.
And
was not taking orders from her.
And also, this is not the first time that Atong Kuol is coming head to head with people at his workplace. I'm not going to call it. Yeah, her employees or the staff where she worked. Because when she was the deputy governor of Jonglei State, she had a small scuffle there with the
acting governor.
With the acting governor.
Mayup Bill.
Yes, and they did some live videos on Facebook for each of them to clarify their position.
Yeah.
So this is not the first time that she is dealing with men.
Okay.
And
back in 2018, she circumcised both men in Jonglei State when she was the state minister of health.
Yeah, that governor of Jonglei is no longer the governor now.
Yeah.
He was replaced by a real guy cook. So that's what happened when you are dealing with her. Somebody must leave her position.
No, but she left though before him.
Yeah, before him, yeah. She was appointed and then she left position and then things happened and then the guy also got removed. But this is not the first time that we are hearing about Atong Kuol. Because on Facebook, people were putting some funny comment there and saying, Achier John should just relax. Atong Kuol has been dealing with men since day one. She has circumcised them in Bor. And it's not going to be an exception.
Yeah, and with the scandal, is it a scandal or drama? The drama with the then acting governor of Jonglei State was around misappropriation of funds. The governor kind of released half information according to Atong, and then she was questioning the logic behind him not giving out like the
full picture
of the state revenue and the expenditure. And then she alleged that the guy was kind of misappropriating funds and also over controlling. He was stepping into the finance and these other like overstepping all over. Yeah.
Yeah, so I will not go much into what exactly happened at that time because I really don't know who was wrong and who was right.
Yeah.
Between her and the governor by then. Because these things, we can take them at a face value.
Yeah.
But when we don't really know, we don't actually know who's right and who's wrong. So that's what happened. And when she was... Yeah, so she started that campaign of circumcising men in Jonglei for health reason. Because people said it helped reduce the spread of the STIs and especially HIV and AIDS.
Yeah.
But Bor, people from Bor had not taken it lightly at that time. But again, she was not forcing people to get circumcised.
It was just a campaign based on its medical logic.
But the big reason why it was making headline is because Bor don't do circumcision.
Really?
Yes, they don't do.
Okay.
Yes, they don't do.
Nikina nani wanakuanga circumcised barkate.
The Bor rite of initiation is different compared with other people. So the other communities, the rite of initiation, like when you are transiting from childhood to adulthood. Yeah, some people is circumcision, but in Bor it's not circumcision.
Imagine I used to think they get circumcised and then kuna mnapakwa jivu hash kwa face and then you get drawn some things alafu you start walking in lines, singing and all that.
Where did you get those assumptions?
From the videos I saw, and also back in Juba, I saw some kids who were being initiated.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, for Atong, okay, let's start with Atong Kuol name. I've always said that Atong Kuol is married.
Yes.
Her maintaining her father's name because we all know Kuol Manyang Juuk.
Yes. A senior government official.
Yeah, and is a political advisor to Salva Kiir. But what's supposed to happen in most societies is that when you get married, you change your surname to your husband's name. I don't know why she's taking that long.
Yeah, because I think she's married to someone from Juuk County, but I'm definitely sure that guy is not more powerful than her father. So there's more to Kuol Manyang name than there would be to the husband's name. Also, in our culture, we don't usually change our surnames. What happens is that you maintain your name. Your name, that is the first name, maybe your Christian name, and your father's name and grandfather's name. But then what happens is if you attend, let's say, a function, then you introduce yourself as so and so, married to so and so from this clan, this tribe, and I have these kids. So you can call me Mangadi or mother to ABCD. But then changing your name to adapt your husband's surname is nothing that we practice in our culture. And also, the only people that I know in South Sudan, like let's say when you talk of the top government officials, there's only Ayan Mayadit. Maybe Ayan Mayadit, that's the wife to Salva Kiir. And then there's who? Angelina Teng, the wife to Riek Machar, and Rebecca Nyanding, wife to Dr. John Garang. Those are the only ones who I know have changed their names. Like, I don't really know if they actually change the name legally or they just adapt that name and then they end up being called the surname of their husbands. But it's not something we practice.
There's nowhere in South Sudan where people change their name legally.
You can change it.
People just say from today onward, I'm called this and just keep going like that.
Yeah, no, but again, when you go to the National Registry, you can.
Yeah, they
don't verify
They started
anything,
in 2011.
Right? Yeah. So you just go, whatever name you write, that's what they'll print in the ID and passport. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like, sometimes it's really hard when you say, according to our culture, we usually don't change. There are so many things that we are adopting right now that were not there in the past.
That's true.
And if these things, even the money itself, our people, during those days when people used not to take their husband's name, money was not there. There was no government. Communities were just ruling each other. But if it is coming right now,
but then my reason,
to me, like, I will not say it's the culture. I would say it's lack of enough money. The guy does not have enough money to his name, so that's why people are too rigid. To change the. But it's up to her.
Yeah, this is a personal choice, right? Like, it depends. If your father's name is powerful and all that, then you retain it. Someone who's respectable.
And if your husband is more powerful, then you will change too.
In most cases, that's what I've seen, because I've seen some young girls, even in polygamous marriages, they just adopt the name of their husband because he's doing fairly well, very widely known and stuff. So you see people calling themselves with the name of the husband. Either way, none of them is right or wrong. It's an individual choice. If you want to adapt the name of your husband, well and good. If you want to maintain your father's name, it's all right.
All right. So coming back to Atong Kuol's situation or her suspension that she did to some individual without pay, why would Achier John Manyuat intimidate her? Like, you know, intimidation is an interpretation of other persons.
Yeah.
Because I
How
can
you
do
interpret someone's actions.
Yes, that's what comes as intimidation. I can do something to somebody is not intimidation, but to somebody else is intimidation.
Yeah.
Do you feel like her being a female minister and undersecretary being a man is playing any big role in her feeling that she's being
intimidated? It's possible. It could be like the gender could play a role, because if you look at the South Sudan society in general, like people associate some roles with a certain gender. For instance, in most cases, or in most scenarios, you'll find that the place of the woman is in the kitchen and not being the head of men. Unaona? And someone would assume maybe it's her husband who should be the minister in that position, and then she should just play some minor roles somewhere. So having a boss who's a woman might kind of be intimidating to a man. So they tend to kind of be rebellious or not being keen on her orders. Or if she says something or gives some orders based on her job description, then the man would misinterpret them and start acting out like, why would a woman be ordering me around and all this and stuff? Yeah. And actually, this guy was just appointed recently in May.
So they were all appointed together.
Yeah. The guy was, I think around age 6. That's when he started work as the undersecretary under the Ministry of Trade. Yeah. So within 1 month, I don't know, like that kind of disrespect, indiscipline in either wapi.
Yeah. But it seemed like, I don't know, is it other ministers that do not bring their action to the public, or she's the first one to exercise her rights as a minister? Because I've not seen before any minister suspending anybody. Is either Salva Kiir changing you through his decrees, and that's it.
Yeah.
But this time, it is her that is making that call.
Yeah. And when I was going through the social media, different people, I saw some comments and posts, including on Twitter. Someone was asking, why is it that she's the only one who's constantly kind of having this tug of wars with other people, either her employees, employers? Is it that she's the only one who understands modern politics, or she's just being a bully? Being a bully in the sense that, right? So she's untouchable. You cannot do anything to her because she has a strong support system in terms of the father. So I don't know if the father plays a role in how she's acting, or she's just doing her job.
It's really tricky because I always say in every conflict, if you are always the constant, then it seems you are the issue. But again, I don't know where she went to school in. So maybe like if she went somewhere where people work, then it may be she's the only one that is actually working. So she's trying to streamline things, but it always turns out that other people are not in line. People are not there. So they're not there to work. And she has the powers that has been given to her by the Constitution, as she has quoted them. Then that's why she ended up exercising them. Unaona? So to me, I will not say she's much of an issue. I will say maybe she has an issue of interpreting every small issue as a disrespect, according to her.
Like she's tough.
She wants people to do things and she wants them to do better. It might be that the case, or she just wants people to do what she's telling them. And if you're not in line with her, then you are the problem. And because of the past, she get rid of you. But again, I would say, because when I look at it, I say undersecretary. These are the people that do most of the work at the ministry. So I thought Achier John Manyuat was a well-learned guy, extremely learned.
He seems learned because he owned a school from nursery to high school. And then his language is kind of polished. I don't know where he studied, maybe somewhere in Kenya, South Sudan, but at least on a high school, maybe a diploma or degree.
So my interpretation was that he is way learned, that he want to run things the better way. But do you know the way that our society behave when you know things better than your mkubwa,
your boss,
you tend to correct them a lot and you forget that they're the one with the powers. So at the beginning I was actually thinking maybe this guy knows a lot of things and he doesn't want to be corrected by Atong because this is the right thing to do. Based on the knowledge that he has gathered somewhere and is doing the right thing. But the minister want to feel that every decision that has to be taken or to be done in the ministry has to come from her based on the position that she has been given as the minister. So that's where I was feeling like that's where insubordination is coming in, or intimidation where you feel like you are more knowledgeable than other person. But let's say, for example, because this part of intimidation, I'm trying to see where it come in, because it's the bosses that always intimidate the junior employees.
Yeah.
If a junior employee is going to intimidate the superior boss or the boss, that means this person is more knowledgeable than the boss.
Yeah. But then in this case, like Atong, I feel like she has been abroad in the West, either Australia or USA. So most likely she has a degree from one of these two countries. And given that as someone who has been exposed to the systems and how they operate in the Western world, there's some sort of efficiency that comes with you. And then we all know how things operate in Africa and mostly in South Sudan. So I feel like she's trying to be efficient in her role, but these people are kind of too slow to adapt to how she is working. Probably people are used to being that sluggish, pulling their legs, their weight.
People coming to work at 11 instead of 8.
Going to stand under the shade. You are taking phone calls when you feel like at whatever time. And then you go for lunch more than 1 hour. You come back, you close for the work and go.
Yes.
Having accomplished very little for the day. So I feel like hapo ndio wanakorofishana.
And so based on some of the things that you mentioned, I'm feeling like those one will fall under the insubordination and the indiscipline. But the intimidation part will come when somebody is more knowledgeable than the other person, or if
you're playing the gender card.
Yes, or if this man always feel like nitakupiga, I will beat you because he's stronger, or he comes with our undersecretary is allowed to come with bodyguards. This is where, like in South Sudan, that's what they call intimidation, where you come with soldiers to show that you are more powerful. That one is intimidation.
Let's say this guy is from the Bargazal region. So he feels like mtu wetu ndio mkubwa. So there's nothing you can tell me.
And
any position you cannot get me fired, something like that.
Or he can lobby out Atong Kuol to be fired. This is where insubordination, this is where intimidation can come in. But again,
the employee and I intimidate employer.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes this when boss is not well learned or or doesn't know a lot of things, sometimes they interpret a lot of things as intimidation.
Yeah.
Because nakumbuka when I was a teacher, mkubwa wangu alikuwa my boss was a little bit down in terms of education, right? So every little thing they always feel like you are doing it because you think you are more knowledgeable than them.
You know more than them.
Yes.
But even when you know more.
But you will not do it because of that reason.
Yeah.
It's just the way that you do things and the way that's supposed to be done. But to them, due to lack of exposure or more education,
insecurity.
Yeah. But again, you have to look at people. If this person really interested in your position, there are those that are actually interested in position of others. You can clearly see.
Yeah.
But if someone is not interested, man.
But let's look at South Sudan. Hiyo nini story ya gender. And also like umetoka tu juzi somewhere and then umeletwa uko juu ya watu. And this person, nilikwambia saa zile ako na shule. So probably I feel like he is already established. So there's nothing you can do to him. And if hii kazi isipo work out, hata nikikaa without pay and stuff, I can still survive. I was already living before getting this position. So there's nothing you are telling me. That kind of don't care attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, looking at Achier John Manyuat, if the school that you are talking of, you build it from scratch, from, let's say, from a private employment, not a government thing, and you build it at that level, we can say this guy actually knows what he's doing. And maybe because he was working way harder or he was trying to do more things compared to the minister, and that's where they clash, then I can hold some water back.
So I came across a video of him explaining the origin of that school. They came up with the idea around 2010, 2011, they did the paperwork. And then around 2014, bought the land. 2015, they wakaanza kujenga up to around 2020. So for a school, it's big, but if you have resources, you can finish it in 1 or 2 years, right? But then it went all the way up to 2020. That's when they finished and they opened the school.
So what I was trying to say is if it was working with the government and then all of a sudden it got some money and it started building things fast, then maybe, when you get money all of a sudden, then that what we call them dirty money. It's not a clean money.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, if it took him 10 years, then that one is clean money.
More than 5 years, 2015 to 2020, 6 years.
It all depends. Let's say if you build primary in like 4 years, if you build primary in 2 years, and then high school in 2 years, it's still, I will call it dirty money. But like, if it was taking long, I don't know. But if this guy, so if this guy have worked in the government before, then there have not been any kind of efficiencies when it comes to the government services. And what these people do, when you hear civil servants have not been paid, this is where their money got lost.
Yeah,
it gets shared among these top government officials.
Employees,
so that's where, like I say, it will not be a clean money, and maybe he was trying to do his own deals, and Atong was serious with him, and that's where they clash from there, because everybody nowadays, because Salva Kiir does not let you stay for long, people tend to those few moments you grab enough so that even if you are decree out, you are good for 3 years before another merry-go-round come around.
Okay, just a disclaimer, we are not saying those are the kinds of deals the guy was into.
These are just assumptions.
Brainstorm on what could have caused the gap between the two of them to bring about intimidation. But intimidation, I feel like Atong anapenda hiyo word sana. Intimidation, insubordination, those two.
Insubordination, that one can be pretty common in South Sudan, because if the minister is saying, we are doing this, and then you are coming with your own directive, then you are insubordinating him, right? Or if you go make some decision on your own, when minister is supposed to sign off those decisions, then you are insubordinating her. You are making decision on behalf of a minister, which you have not been given that.
Or if you are not meeting deadlines, and this is something that you were supposed to do by this day,
that will be indiscipline.
Yeah, it could be, and it could be insubordination too. Because if, let's say, you're disobeying orders, someone has said, by tomorrow morning, I need to get this file on my table or on my desk. And Akuja, you have not submitted the file. 2 days later, bado. Yeah. So that could count kama insubordination and indiscipline at the same time.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we can take away from this decree that she has issued or whatever that she did, it actually is giving ways for other ministers. Now, if you don't feel okay with the undersecretary, you can pull out those ministers' powers
orders
and fire them. And now, everyone was going to be firing people. Salva Kiir is firing.
Just wake up in the wrong mood.
And then ministers are also firing. It's going to be a lot of chaos.
Yeah. Well, but it's good. Don't you think so? Because if people are not doing what they are supposed to do, like we saw in the definition of insubordination, you are defiant, you're not obeying orders, you're just doing your own things. You are there, you have a specific job description of what you're supposed to do. If you don't do it, then you might as well go, and someone would act on your position until further notice or until you are replaced. If those issues are something that cannot be resolved. Yeah. And then kazi iendelee. Hiyo kazi is not just for specific individual. Anyone can do that, right? So if you're not doing what you're supposed to do as an undersecretary, should we fault the minister for that? You just let go of them.
No, I will not support that because people will start misusing them.
Their powers.
Like you mentioned, this guy was hired in May.
Yeah.
It's less than 4 weeks. That's a short time.
At the beginning of May. That's actually exactly 1 month.
Yeah, so it's actually a short time just to fire somebody. Because every workplace that you are or that you have been before is not the manager or the mkubwa or the boss that always call the shot, get this guy out.
Yeah.
When there's an issue, there's a HR to deal with you.
Yeah.
If it is a performance issue, they assign you to somebody so that you are on performance review to improve your things before you are let go.
And you actually have up to, I think, 3 months in most companies. 3 months of probation. Yeah.
And then if things don't work, that's like when you are a new employee.
Yeah.
But if you're already an existing employee and maybe things are turning out, they will try any kind of conflict resolution.
Yes.
Because they don't always assume that the junior employees is the person with the issue.
Yeah.
Even the boss might themselves might be too controlling or something like that.
Or something is currently happening, so they are dealing with some issues.
Yeah, or something that are more personal.
Yeah.
And they're taking them to job. So you see, people are supposed to go through HR, a conflict resolution, and if you reach a point that this one is insolvable, it cannot be resolved, then you let the other person go. But within 4 weeks, you're let somebody go.
It's kind of fishy because at the beginning I didn't really look at who jamaa alikuwa hired when until I did some research, and then I'm like, the guy was inaugurated around the 6th of May, so that's just within 1 month. Kwani amepewa kazi gani hiyo yenye inaleta hii mbutano?
Yeah, and then also like if we look at Atong, when she came out to correct the governor at that time, she was just coming to correct something, but it's not like before the governor actually came out and gave us of the kind of revenue or what they receive and how it is distributed. They never talked about it.
Yes.
So if they were misusing before this guy actually came into position, because there was a governor before Juuk BL, there was another governor, and she was the deputy governor. How they were running their things, nobody knew. Were things getting okay? But when this person actually came here and said, this is the amount of revenue that we get, this is how we distribute it, she came out to give her own statement.
They actually had issues with Deny Chagor too. Yeah, and some people argue maybe she could be the reason why this guy was fired, the former governor before Mayubi.
She's the one fighting with people now.
Yeah.
And we can always give somebody a benefit of doubt, right? So let's say she's moved to a different ministry.
Yes.
And the same thing happened. Then yeah, she will just have to work on her anger issues.
Anger management.
Yes.
We shall do a diagnosis.
Or if she moved to another department and things are the same, she's fighting with other people, then yeah, we'll just say she's the issue. Unless she come out clean and say, this is what I wanted to do. And this is what these people, this is for the interest of the country.
Yeah.
I wanted to do A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
But these people want me to do X and X. Or when I do this, they come behind me and sabotage me so that this one doesn't work.
Yeah.
Then yeah, from there we can say, for sure you're the one that is actually trying to work hard
the right thing.
Yeah. And it's just that these other people don't want anybody that's working. People just want to share the government revenue and go home.
Yeah, but you know what's tricky is that these things, they should be highlighting, at least why explain some background. Apart from just releasing the orders, I'm firing this or I'm suspending this person for this duration of time or until further notice, without specifically indicating what they did. Mentioning insubordination, indiscipline, intimidation, it's not enough.
But
like there has to be room for explanation, right?
No, the problem is maybe some of these documents are supposed to be internal documents.
Yes.
We are not supposed to see them. So the problem is, who is taking them to the media? If they are being taken to the media, then this is for a public
consumption.
Public debate and judgment. Okay, then we need some background stories to it.
Yeah.
But if it was something internal communication,
yeah, it's internal. They only see specific.
Yeah, so if it is internal communication, it has not got to us.
Yeah.
Some of personal issues that happen at the organization are not supposed to be shared with everybody.
Yeah.
But when you bring it to the public for us to give our opinions on,
then we will start
so that
thinking
we see,
of what could have been
so that we see this guy called Achier John Manyuat is the bad guy because he's insubordinating you. Then we need some backstory to it, right? Because you might be right, actually, that this guy is actually doing all this to you so that you don't do your work. Or it might be that you guys are not compatible and you just want to get rid of each other.
Yeah.
But again, there are so many employees at that organization. Why pick on Achier John Manyuat?
Yeah.
Why pick only on that one guy only? So these things, so long as we don't have the full picture of what's going on, we can always give our opinion, but we don't
speculate.
Yeah, we're not saying Atong is right. We're not saying Achier is right or any of them is wrong.
Yeah.
They're the one that knows at the ministry
what could be happening. Yeah, but it's tricky. Because I think there was another person who was also suspended on the same day. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so she also suspended Gloria Nyoka Joseph, who was an executive director at the South Sudan South Sudan Bureau of Standard for mismanagement of resources and procedural divisive politics and undermining the minister. So all these reasons again, these two reasons are similar to what were given for Achier for the undersecretary, because undermining minister is the same as insubordination.
Insubordination,
yeah, and procedural divisive politics.
And procedural something of maybe procurement or something like that.
Is and procedural divisive politics and mismanagement.
No, kuna divisive politics. Hiyo ni different, and then kuna procedural something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe ways of doing it.
Like how to bring things into the country. Zile unapitisha things that are not supposed to get into the country or something like that. Let me check.
Yeah, but I don't know if South Sudan Bureau of Standard fall under her ministry.
Yeah.
Is it a department or is it a subsection? This is where I'm wondering. Are they not like an independent government department that's supposed to do their work independently?
So these are like, I think it's like CABs, right?
Yeah, but
Kenya Bureau of Standards.
Yeah,
so
like
those
that.
Are under like trade.
No, there are different. Like when it comes to Kenya, there are different departments. They do their jobs, and the Ministry of Trade and whatever do their job. But their job also, they collide a little bit, but everybody in their own way.
Maybe in South Sudan they are under Ministry of Trade because they are kind of checking the quality. It's like quality review and quality assurance to ensure that goods that are moving into the country, let's say consumer produce, are of the right standards. Yeah. So I believe they fall under her ministry, but maybe it's a different department.
Yeah. So mismanagement of resources, this one has been ongoing for so many years, since 2005. So she's not going to be the first person. But if South Sudan, through the new leadership, they want to streamline everything, like the way that Bol Mill came, and say that they want people to get paid on time, then mismanaging these resources is going to contribute to no money for payment. Because these people collect money at the borders.
Yeah.
And government has not established one bank account where all the money goes. Like this Bureau of Standard might be having their own bank account.
Yeah.
So this woman just write checks, or she just give money out of that bank account
probably
without approval of any other person, because she's the director. Because in South Sudan, when you are the boss, it always feel like you are the final say.
You have the final say, yeah.
And that final say does not come with any supporting document. You just give money like it is your own money in your handbag.
Yeah, so hapa anasema she's unprocedural. I could explain like unprocedural on what? Maybe
she doesn't follow the procedure laid out.
Stipulated, yeah. And also, when you go down there, it seems like it's something very serious, because they even they CC'd the Director General of ISB, that is Internal Security Bureau, National Security. And she said Gloria will be suspended pending investigation. Alafu someone will act on her behalf, who is called Aldo Upiu Joadi.
Yeah.
As the senior DG.
And so for some of you that will not know Gloria Nyoka Joseph, she's a daughter or a granddaughter to... A daughter to...
SPLM veterans, Joseph Laku. Is it Lago or Laku? Laku.
Who is this Nyoka? Gloria is her first name.
Yes.
Who is Nyoka?
Nyoka is her name. I think her middle name.
Okay.
And then the father's name is Joseph Laku.
If she say Laku without Joseph, then it will not sound right. Because there are so many Lagu. But when you say Joseph Laku, it goes to a specific individual that hold a certain position in the country. Power in the name.
Yeah.
So here she has suspended a lot of people, right? So hopefully what of other new ministers that were appointed? Are they just okay in their ministries? They're not working that hard, or what's going on?
And it's not just those two individuals. There's another person called Mr. John Deng Warding, head of Nimili Border Station, was reassigned. Okay, this one was reassigned. I think he was given job to mwingine.
So there's no
need. So she's reshuffling.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah,
but people have been misusing a lot of resources at the border and almost at every ministry.
Yeah.
Every time you get small money, you want to keep it in your personal bank account. Then small money, people want to direct it to their personal use.
Yeah.
And that's why South Sudan has not been going anywhere.
Yeah.
So high chances Atong Kuol is actually doing her work. And these other people just want to misuse the resources. They want to direct things the way that they want. But they have met somebody that's actually going to work harder.
To do the work that she's paid for.
But if she was not doing her work, she would not be CCing these other departments.
Yeah.
She knows that she's doing the right thing, so that's why she CC this other department to have a look of what's going on in her ministry to stay in the loop also.
Wait, what if that's a procedural way of doing things? Unaona, even when people are fired or nini, something is happening, reshuffling. They CC most of this, like the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, Ministry as doing nini. And then if it's something that needs some sort of investigations or intervention, national security is also CC.
Yeah, so
I've seen a lot of those documents with so many people CC. So I feel like that's how they do their things.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah. So we don't know who's actually right and who's wrong. But if you are accused of mismanaging resources,
most likely,
unless you come out and tell us I was not misusing the resources
with evidence.
This is where I was taking the money, but the minister want the money to go this direction, and we had a clash, and I was the person doing the right thing. But if you don't show us anything, then it's stand that you are misusing the public resources, right?
And then we
you
all
should not
know,
be holding
like
any
this
office.
is a fact in most African countries. These top individuals, they mismanage and misuse national resources. Apart someone using government vehicle like their own personal car to run their own errands. Unaona? You find that let's say if funds come in, 100% of that money will not go towards the right thing that they are supposed to be allocated to. Unapata mtu amekata kidogo, and then you redirect it to your own personal account. Mama, you take bribes hapa na pale. So it's very hard to defend some of these individuals sometimes.
But if you were to work in those ministries, and you have the opportunity to change your family poverty lineage, will you not change it?
Just do your own. You cannot.
Salary is not enough.
Eliminate poverty by using salary. You need to.
I'm saying salary is not enough. So the way that these people eliminate is not that they pay themselves. They do these deals where we just go away with almost $100,000 out of nowhere to go change
You
things.
don't feel bad that there are some civil servants who will not be paid because you are not collecting enough revenue or you are misappropriating funds. You've been working in this ministry for 1-2 years. Already ushajenga nyumba ya concrete.
And the society is praising you that you're such a hardworking person. She got a job recently and she's already moving mountains.
No, like those things don't. They should not matter.
If I lose money,
lose change. Would you?
Do what? All right, so that's it for Atong Kuol firing her employees.
Suspending, please.
Without pay is equivalent to firing.
No, they are pending investigations. If the insubordination gets to stop.
Who is going to do the investigation?
Huyo wa Nyan Joseph Laku is being investigated. So alisema
what of undersecretary?
On her behalf. Until undersecretary is out of work until further notice. So maybe he was just suspended for some duration of time. And then he can come back.
All right.
Yeah, but for the other lady, she's pending investigations. Yeah, that's what it says. Gloria, so is suspended pending investigation, and Aldo Upiu Joadi will be the senior DG to act on her behalf, and the security organs are directed to ensure this order is implemented immediately. Unajua those security organs ni kina national security. wako tag pale chini CC'd. Yeah. But for the other guy, he said they'll be suspended without pay until further notice. And then Mr. Leo Ukwahi Lule is to act on his behalf and the security organs to ensure the order is implemented. So that's like to make sure this person does not come anywhere near the premises.
Okay.
The Ministry of Trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.